Estate and Mortgage Show, your go-to spot for everything home buying, selling, and financing on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
We all got hoodies on, except for, Paul's got his T-shirt and sports coat on. But
I dress up.
Yes, you do dress up. It's radio.
We're on camera.
Yes,
we're on camera. You got to look good. You only have one chance to make a first impression, Frank.
You can go to YouTube and look up the Real Estate and Mortgage Show channel, and you can see how Frank and Paul look.
Well, because you don't put a camera on yourself,
I'm not
but
on
you
camera.
dress very, very casually like I do. It's Saturday. I dress casual
Exactly.
on Saturday.
I always dress to the nines,
Yes,
Frankie.
you do.
Always.
Thank God Petra dresses you too.
It's a little chillier for beginning of May than I was
Feels
hoping
like October
for.
again.
Yeah.
It feels like we...
And if you look at the forecast, there's no good weather coming. Like, it's terrible. It's raining and cold.
I'm hoping Tuesday's nice because Tuesday, Mortgage Professionals Canada, a whole bunch of us are in town. We are visiting Parliament Hill. And again, we're going to lobby a lot of the MPs to get 30-year amortizations for all Canadians, not just first-time home buyers. That's one of our agenda items. We want clarity on this HST and the GST rebate on new homes. We want more clarity on that. And there's a number of other items we're going to bring up that we want fraud. We want to eliminate fraud from our industry. We want tools to be able to eliminate fraud. And we need the government to help us get to those levels where, if somebody gives us, and I can tell you right now, I use AI. And one of my agents called me on Monday morning and said, I think I've got some T4s that look a little funny. Do you mind looking at them for me? And I looked at them and I used AI. I thought they were funny, but then I said, let me put these in AI, see what AI says. AI pointed out 3 serious, and all I said to AI is, tell me if this looks like fraud, if these T4s are fraud. So what it captured is that the CPP calculation was incorrect based on the amount that they made, based on what the tax bracket was for that. So
interesting.
So it caught that. So I got the agent to challenge the client. The client said, yeah, my accountant made him up because he knows I need a mortgage. And
holy moly.
He made them up.
This is what we see in our industry. And unfortunately, again, good brokerages like ours, and I applauded my mortgage agent for catching it and bringing it to the forefront before it even got to the lender so that we caught it ahead of time. But this is the kind of stuff, and we don't see it often in Ottawa. It's very minuscule. The lenders tell us very minuscule in Ottawa, but in Toronto, 30 to 40% of the files they really have to look carefully at, and in many cases they find that there's fraudulent documents in there. This is the stuff we want to get rid of.
Yeah, there's a lot of fraud going on in Toronto. Yeah. Something you said there about the HST, I hope you can get some clarity on that because we're seeing so many situations now where certain builders are advertising the 5% off, so the GST off, which is
passed,
which is approved, which is great. You can do that, but I've seen some other builders where it's like, you could homes starting at $399, and then you go down a little bit, and it's like homes starting at $4 something, and they're advertising the HST off the price already, right. And it's not correct. So it's I'm seeing, like I said, lots of builders are advertising the GST off, which is legit. But keep in mind when they're advertising that's only for first time home buyers. Right. So that price doesn't qualify for the me's and the you's of the world.
That's the big stars on the bottom of the advertisement, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a bit of a bait and switch, which I don't like. Advertising a cheaper price to get your phone to ring and get buyers in the door. So just make sure you're looking at the advertising when they're advertising a price that seems too good to be true. I know I was talking to Charles from Clement Homes about that too, and he's like, well, we could advertise the GST off, and I said, well, but it only applies for a small percentage of the market, the first-time home buyers. So it's a bit of a bait and switch. So I said, let's advertise the real price.
Yeah.
And then
for the people that qualify.
And then put in the write-up, if you qualify as a first-time home buyer, here's your price, right? So that's the better way to do it. But I hope you get some clarity on that, Frank, because, there's so much. I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine, David Leith, and I was just like, can you come in and talk to the team at the next Tuesday meeting?
Not a chance.
I want some clarity on this HST. And even the lawyers are like, we'll
We've
do our
four.
best. But there's no real answer out there, So it must be a nightmare for builders and for lawyers right now
Everyone.
because no one knows really what's going on.
It's
Well,
for
and
everyone.
you guys writing mortgages, right? Like,
Well,
how
we
do you
don't
know what
like,
amount you're
are we
writing
approving
for?
it on the higher amount? So for now, we're approving it on the higher amount, and we say, like, we'll go back to the lower amount, but let's get the approval on the higher amount for now
Make sure you're covered.
so that you've got that. But again, customers are saying, well, I don't want approval on the higher one because I don't want to pay the higher price. If it's the higher price, then I don't want to buy the house. I'm buying the house because I'm getting this rebate. Otherwise, I don't want to buy this house.
And then, of course, the second program that came in was for any buyer to save the HST on a brand new build, which, once again, has not been approved. So it's been talked about, has not been approved, but we're still getting calls saying, hey, I'm not a first-time home buyer, but I'm a buyer, and I want to buy brand new and get my 13% off. And I'm like, well, you might be able to get it in the future, but it's not happening right now. I know they said it starts April 1st, but we have nothing concrete, nothing.
So just to so we're Parliament Hill on Tuesday, and then I'm lucky enough where I'm on a couple of government committees, and the other one we're at Queen's Park on Monday. So the following Monday,
I think that's the
May
more
11th.
because that's where it's all held
That's
up
the
right
provincial
now,
is
right?
where it's held up right now.
Yeah.
So, well, he's had other things to deal with, a private plane, and he's had other significant issues to deal with. No, what bothers all of us and bothers a lot of Canadians right now is you can't get the headlines and brag about this beautiful program without giving everybody, all the players in that field, which is the builders, the default insurers, the lenders, the banks, the mortgage agents, and more importantly, the lawyers, and more importantly, the people that are buying them, clarity. If you're going to introduce something that big and that awesome, and it is awesome, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
It is an awesome program, but please, do your homework, get the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and then put it out there.
For launch day.
There should have been an education process that goes into this. There should have been, okay, realtors, here's how it has to work, and here's how it happened. Hey, builders, here's how it has to happen. Hey, mortgage brokers, so it's just right now it's like they've thrown this program out. There's no rules, there's no guidelines for it. No one knows what's going on, and sometimes we feel stupid. Like when the consumer calls us and says, I want to save the HST. I'm going to buy a new build. Well, it hasn't really come into effect. Well, when does it come into effect? We don't know. It's just so willy-nilly. Like we need to get this. I mean, we've been talking about this since what? May of last year.
Yeah.
Over a year now.
Almost a year. Yeah.
May of last year we were talking about this, and it's starting to get a little bit frustrating too because we don't know the rules. Like even someone who's ripping down a home and rebuilding like an infill. We know that they should qualify, but do they qualify? I mean, no one really knows right now. So hopefully we get some clarity on that. So hopefully you can pull some strings.
I got a call from a client. Yeah, I got a call from a client this week, and they're buying a parcel of land, and they're going to start building. And they started asking me the question. I said, whoa, easy, back up. I said, I'm not going to be able to give you answers. Yes, I mean, if you read the print of everything that they put out, here's when you got to start building. Here's how long you have to build it. Here's where it's got to be complete by for you to get this rebate. But it hasn't passed yet, so I wouldn't
hold your horses.
Be that fast at doing anything until it's passed, because then at least you've got some clarity as to what you need to do moving forward.
Yeah, right.
So it's a tough. It's a struggle because it's disappointing because again, it's such a great program for many Canadians to be able either to upgrade their houses, which we haven't seen a lot of, or to be able to get into housing. First-time home buyers get into housing and nothing, nobody knows which way to go. And you called one lawyer. I mean, we've called 4 lawyers to get their opinions. So we're either getting no comment or we're getting one opinion is different than the other. Yeah. So again, it's all varied.
Now, just for the resale market, I know we talked about this last week and the week before. If you are a home on the resale market, there is still a lot of panic right now because they think, oh my God, you can go buy that townhome for $500,000 from a brand new builder, whereas mine's at $600,000. Like I'll never sell my home. Keep in mind, there's a lot of builders that don't have any inventory, and they're closing in 2027. So people need homes. We have people transferred here. We have people that have to buy. So the resale market will not falter in this. Will it take a little bit of a hiccup? Yes, it will. Maybe a little bit of a hiccup.
Depends on where you are. If you're in a neighborhood where other houses are being built, then I don't know. I mean, you and I are no different. I mean, if we see a resale listed for $600,000, but I can buy brand new, maybe I got to wait a year. But for 500, maybe I wait the year. If I've got the time, I wait the year.
And some people will, but what I'm saying is there's always people who need a house tomorrow, right? So
absolutely.
There's always people who need a house quick. And with no inventory available, I mean, we're lucky with Clement Homes that we have lots of inventory, but builders aren't building like they used to build. They don't have the deep pockets. The interest rates have been so high that the builders have been hurt a little bit. So
they're not building until they have a certain amount of the neighborhood already pre-sold,
you
right?
need, I mean, like if you're building townhouses and you have 6 townhouses, you usually have to have 3 to 4 before you get a financing draw from the bank, right? So you need those sales. So you're not starting to build until you get those sales. Well, I mean, building isn't feverish right now. I mean, I know they say the shovels should be in the ground, but they're definitely not in the ground. So if you're in the resale market, like I mentioned last week and the week before, don't panic. Don't panic at all. There's still people for your product.
Which reminds me about building. I saw a story this week that, was it down Barrie Way? I can't remember, that the city council down there has waived development charges for 2 years.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
50 grand a door is what they were at. And they're waiving it for 2 years now.
Which is amazing, there's talk about that here in Ottawa too. Like they were halving. They're taking 50% off development charges. We haven't seen it. I know in certain communities they've actually doubled their development charges.
Right.
But,
yes.
But I'm lucky that I work with a great builder, and the trying to get shovels in the ground. Apparently, what the government is saying is it's easier now. Well, I work with a builder who says it's not easier at all anymore. In fact, it's tougher. So
the governments have been saying that for 10 years.
10 years. 10 years.
And they wonder why building has come to a standstill. Of course, they're the problem, and yet they won't admit that they're the reason that everything's coming to a standstill. And they put out these beautiful, okay, we're going to give 13% HST rebates. But again, they don't give clarity. So really, hard to believe that they're actually trying to grow things when they actually stand in the way of building growing.
And usually the lies don't come out to election time.
Well, there is a municipal election coming up.
They were just filing nomination papers open this week.
They were, so I wonder if that's where the development
here we go.
rebate comes. Well, again, I mean, that's what you do, right? If you want to
make some
get
promises.
These are the kinds of things that you put into play.
All right, candidates, if you're listening, we want lower development charges to get homes
built. Do I hear
built.
50, 75, 75%?
Have a question, head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com and submit it there, or give us a call at 521-TALK, 521-8255. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So exciting news. Our podcast studio is pretty much done.
Yes. I know Frank's stopping by today to take a look at it. I sent some pictures. We have the signs are up. We're just waiting for the equipment to come in. But yeah, Petra did an amazing job in there.
It looks amazing in
it
there.
It does. It looks so incredible.
June 10th, right? We're aiming maybe June 10th.
Yeah, early June will be the start of our podcast. But you want some teasers and what's going on. You're going to be able to see it on YouTube. Real Estate and Mortgage Show will be on Spotify and all the Amazon, all the usual channels. And who knows? Maybe even Netflix one day.
But subscribe.
Yeah, so
we'd love some more subscribers. We haven't aggressively promoted it anyway, but we want to aggressively promote it. And we're going to talk about countrywide, too. I mean, we talked about here on the show. I mean, obviously, we're in Ottawa, and we understand the Ottawa market very well. When it comes to mortgages, it's very similar across the country, and I think that Paul's going to work on we're going to try and make our show more national so we can get some national subscribers on there. And we'll get some guest real estate agents that Paul works with across the country and give us a feel for what other cities are going through.
What's it really like on the ground?
I mean, it's really like I can give you an overview of what cities are doing, but it would be nice to get someone who's a professional in that city who knows what's really going on in that city, what areas are hot, what's going on with pricing. And the nice thing for us is there's certain places, like if you look at like Alberta, when our market's really tough, Alberta seems to rock.
Yeah.
When Alberta sucks, we seem to rock. So I'd like to know, why? Why are you guys struggling right now when we're thriving, and why are we struggling when you're thriving? So even Vancouver, I'd love to know what's going on in the Toronto market, the Vancouver market, the Calgary, Edmonton. So go to YouTube, realestateandmortgageshow.com, and or Real Estate and Mortgage Show on YouTube, sorry, and subscribe, because we will be starting soon. So we're looking forward to
and we're going to give us some nice prizes, I think, too. We're going to come out with some nice prizes for all subscribers.
What's that, like a dinner with you you, Frank?
Well, that would definitely get our numbers up. I did that with
maybe
you.
all the
Might lose
ladies,
subscribers.
maybe all the
Might lose
ladies for sure.
subscribers.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but again, I the one thing about our podcast, we're going to invite some guests, and I've already chatted to a number of people in our industry that'll be very interesting. And then we've had some of our listeners email and tell us, hey, it'd be nice if you had this type of guest on there, somebody to talk about this. So again, hopefully by then we'll have clarity on the HST rebates. We'll have some clarity on some things, and we'll try to get people on the
I don't know,
show.
Frank. That's a month away. I don't know if we'll have
it's
clarity
a month away.
by
We'll
then.
see.
It's only been 13 months, so it's only been 13 months.
But again, I mean, I think June 10th again is maybe our first target date, and Bank of Canada happens to announce on June 10th their next announcement, and obviously they had one this week, and as predicted, they remained on the sidelines, and they listed some of the concerns. And you're right, Paul. I mean, there's some economists that talked about maybe rates going up, and then there's other ones. TD is still very adamant that the only direction that interest rates should be going is down. This economy needs lower interest rates, not higher interest rates. So,
right, the only thing affecting it right now basically is the oil, right?
Oil, Hence why Alberta's doing well.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, it's not just the oil. Oil links to everything, right?
100%.
Like gas prices, like diesel it's like $2.50 a liter now. Well, guess what? All those major trucks that bring all our food are diesel, right? So it's really affecting everything right now, and inflation will probably go up. But you're right. Like, there's a lot of people who are like literally living paycheck to paycheck and scraping by, and it's now saying that the April numbers have not come out. I mean, today we're what are we,
May 2nd.
May 2nd. Yeah. So the April numbers haven't come out yet. I'm sure they'll come out probably on Monday. I'm interested to see what they do, because we had a really strong April. Like, with firm and conditional, we did 82 deals, which is a strong month. Last year at this time we did 46. So we're way ahead of where we were last year at this time, but Jan, Feb, March were not great months, whereas April really turned around. I know you were busy, Greg. You listed a ton of properties.
When I saw Greg
the first thing
morning,
Frank said to me this morning is,
"Holy cow,
you look tired."
You look so tired.
Yeah, I've been running like a madman for the past month.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have it after the break, but you listed something like, didn't we list like 60, 70 properties this month? Something crazy,
something
like
in that range.
Like, it was insane.
I don't have the exact number.
So when the numbers come out in April, so next week I'll talk about them. I figure the board numbers should be quite strong for April, which is great. And we always talk about a spring market starts mid-January. That's when a spring market really starts. We didn't see it this year.
It started in April this year.
This year it started in April. So maybe we're going to have a delayed spring. We've had delayed springs before where, April, May, and June are really, really strong. And then, sometimes summer's like a, throw a dart at a board. You're not sure if it's going to be good or bad, depending on, I think we've had a really tough winter. So I think summer this year, people want to get outside. They want a vacation, cottage country, things like that. So summer might be a little bit slower this year, but we might have a lead up right now in a late spring market, because I do believe when the numbers come out, April should be very strong in the real estate board.
Well, I know in the last couple of weeks, a bunch of the clients that I saw photographing houses, it's military transfers are starting now as well, right? Like those orders are going out. And
there's less of them from what I understand. I've got a few people, clients of mine that are in the military, and they're saying they're not transferring as much these days because of the cost involved in transferring. So certainly not to the level we used to see. I remember, like from March until June, there were so many that used to come and get. Now not as many. You're not seeing as many people move around because it's so expensive to move around, and they've changed the way the compensation is too. So if you have to pay a penalty on your mortgage, they're not covering the whole thing like they used to. They've made it so much harder for someone to be able to take advantage of the system of transferring somewhere. So now you're not seeing as much of it anymore.
Yeah. But if it's happening, this is the time it's happening, right? You see a lot of it in April, May.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing a lot. I mean, you said you're filming a lot of houses for military, and we're working with a lot of buyers right now that are military as well.
Coming into the market.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So for someone like a military transfer, this is where this HST.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
And the resale market is worried that the new home market is going to boom because of this new HST credit or rebate when it comes in. Well, listen, when you get transferred, you got to find a house, and you have a weekend to find a house.
Right.
Well, you're not getting a new home because it's not ready for another year. You're buying resale. So there's a lot of military transfers and different organization transfers
RCMP,
that come in,
a whole
RCMP
bunch,
that come in here that have to buy on a weekend, and they need a house within a month. So it's happening.
They're moving to Ottawa in a month or two.
Yes.
Not 18 months.
Yeah, they can't wait for
the
that
new
build.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I do think builders, we had a discussion at our team meeting this week about, what are builders going to do when this does get passed, are they going to sort of pass that whole HST savings on to the consumer? Or are they going to jack up the prices a little bit and put a little bit in their own pockets?
Who's going to know?
Well, yeah, who's going to know? But I think there's one builder's going to start the bleeding is what's going to happen. I think they're going to jack up their prices a little bit. Then all builders are going to follow because they can. So we could see that. We could see builders jack up their prices a little bit and make that resale to new build a little smaller.
Just levels it back out.
Levels it right back out, yeah. So then we might see that, but who knows, right? Yeah. There's still a lot of talk about builders and contracts. Like, if you signed a contract and you're not a first-time home buyer and there's this new program comes in where it starts April 1st, well, what if you signed a contract March 29th? Will a builder rip up that contract and re-sign that contract with you? I've already been told that some builders are and others aren't. So, and then the legality, does that become fraud?
But they're putting clauses in. So some builders they're putting a clause in there that if it's deemed that CRA doesn't allow for this, you're going to be responsible. I've actually heard stories. We had a Teams call this week with a group of us from across the country, and actually a couple of them have heard that the builders are putting second mortgages on the house just in case there's ever a retraction of that HST for people that signed the contract prior to April 1st, and now all of a sudden they've asked for a new contract. They want to protect themselves, the builders, in case CRA comes back and says, you weren't allowed to do that kind of thing, so the client's got to pay for it. The buyer's got to pay for it because the builder's not paying for it.
If you don't have 60 or 70 grand sitting...
Yep.
Well, you have to report a home sale and a home purchase now, so CRA is going to be all over this. They'll be hiring...
CRA is probably unclear, too, as to how to
treat
these,
probably have
right?
no idea
so
what's
they have
going
no
on
idea either.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So
so just before we go to break, Kathleen Graham, our amazing listing coordinator, just texted me and said we did 56 listings in April.
Oh, I said 60 or 7, Kathleen. We got to pick up your game, all right?
Have a question, head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com or give us a call at 521-TALK, 521-8255. We'll be right back.